Have you ever done a project that spans across multiple months or maybe even years? Like building a custom motorcycle. And when you're getting close to the finish line, you look at the stuff that you did in the beginning of the project and you think to yourself, if I were to make those things today, I would do a much better job. And that's where I'm at with this seat. So today, almost 1 year later, I will have another crack at making a king and queen seat. Let's do this. Before we start cutting any metal, I want to make a few cardboard templates. And I usually make them out of old pizza boxes because it's free, they're easy to work with, and for some reason I have a lot of them. The templates are ready and it's time to trace them onto the sheet metal. I will use a sheet that is 0.9 millimeters thick. Last time I used a sheet that was 1.2 millimeters thick, but I think that was way overkill. It just makes it more expensive and harder to work with. It's actually not the thickness of the sheet that makes it strong, it's the bends and shapes that you put into it. And to cut the sheet I will use my trusty old jigsaw, equipped with a metal blade of course. I'm not sure why I chose to call my jigsaw trusty, because just minutes in it decided to snap my blade. After some struggle with metal scissors, I decided to call it a day. It was Friday night after all. I decided to go to the store to pick up some more template material. And it must have been my lucky day after all, because look what I found right next to my dinner. Well, that sure took longer than I expected, but the two side panels and the back panel... Holy shit. And the back panel are finally done. And some of you might be wondering about this pipe, and I promise you it will make sense in just a while. Next step is to weld these pieces together and turn them into a proper box. I'm done welding the pieces together, and I actually cut and welded the top part as well. And now you can see where I was going with that pipe. Not only did it create this beautiful hump, but it actually also created a storage compartment, also known as a stash box. I also managed to cut out the pieces for the front and the backrest. We'll put the backrest away for now and focus on the front. And the next thing we have to do is bend it to make sure it follows the curve of the frame. Let's see how that goes. I'm pretty happy with the basic form of this part, but before I give it its final shape, I want to sort the mounting point in the front. If we look at the stock seat, it actually uses a little plastic hook that slides in between the tank and the frame. And I will actually use the same technique, but I will make it out of sheet metal. With that hook in place, it's time to give this part its final shape and to trim and weld it in the back. When that is done, I will probably just move ahead and weld the backrest as well. With the backrest in place, the seat pan is more or less done. The only thing that's left is to drill some holes and weld in some nuts to be able to attach it to the sissy bar. And I will also drill a bunch of holes down there to be able to attach the fabric with pop rivets. Last time I used glue and it worked, but I think pop rivets will work better. It's finally time to make that hard seat pan a little bit softer. And just like last time, I will use a sleeping mat, but this time around I will use a different kind of glue. Because that contact glue I used last time, it was such a pain to work with and it created such a mess. So this time around, I will use a spray adhesive instead, and I guess that will just create another kind of mess. We'll see. after a bit of a struggle, I managed to glue and shape the sleeping mat. I actually ran out of glue halfway through, so I had to switch to a different brand, and that glue was just crap. So I reached for my hot glue gun, and that worked perfectly. So if I were to do this again, I will go straight for the hot glue gun. Anyways, now we're gonna cover this with some fabric, and the first step in doing that is making a few templates out of this flimsy paper, because that is what you do when you're working with fabric, I think. I really tried making templates out of that flimsy paper, but it just wasn't for me. Instead, I went ahead and made a full prototype out of an old bed sheet. I just took some measurements of the backrest, transferred them onto the bed sheet and cut them out and sewed them together. And with those pieces together, it was actually quite easy making paper templates of the sides. And with that out of the way, it's actually time to transfer those templates onto the real fabric. And the fabric I will be using is this vinyl leather looking thingy. I would love to use real leather, but my sewing machine just can't handle it. All the pieces are cut, but I kind of lost my mind there on the center part. Instead of going with that vinyl, I went with this golden crushed velvet. A bit crazy, but I think it will look cool. I also cut a piece of polyester fiber, and that is because I will do something called quilting. And that is basically taking two pieces of fabric, sandwiching them together with some padding in between. And when you do stitching on top of that, it creates a really cool pattern. And the pattern I will be going with, just like last time, is diamonds. I even created this little jig to help me draw out the diamonds. So next step is transferring this to the fabric, and then we can finally use some power tools again. It's a new day, and would you look at this? I'm very sorry I don't have any footage of me actually putting the cover on. I finished it last night and I was so excited to try it, so I put it on and it was a bit of a struggle. So I won't actually take it off just to film it. The next step is to permanently attach the fabric with pop rivets. I will start here from the back and work my way around. Now there's only one little detail left, the cover for the stash box. There is this guy on YouTube called 3D Printy. He designs gift boxes with a twist lock. They're pretty cool, and he has actually released the files for free, so I have downloaded them, modified them pretty heavily to fit my pipe and to have a custom design. The only thing that's left is to glue this into place and we can put a seat on the bike. My goal was to make a king and queen seat that was better than the last one. And I don't know about you, but I think I succeeded. It looks better, it works better, and I know that the yellow velvet isn't for everyone, but that's the cool thing about making a shopper. You can make whatever you want. There are no rules. As long as you dig it, it's all good. And I totally dig this new seat. I will have to do some modifications to my sissy bar because I changed the locations of the mounting points. But that was actually on purpose, and those changes will be in an upcoming video. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss that, and maybe check out this video right there. And visit heavymetalparkingspot.com for some sweet merch, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!